Hello everyone, welcome back to another AC 130 sports video. I apologize, I know it's been a couple weeks since I last posted. Been busy with life, actually went on a little vacation, so just been busy. But wanted to talk about the 2022 NFL drafts, especially with regards to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I put out a pre-draft video a couple weeks ago talking about what the Steelers might do in round one and beyond. Actually, one of the things we said in that video was we don't love Kenny Pickett at 20. Now, obviously, as you know by now, the Steelers took Kenny Pickett out of the University of Pittsburgh with their 20th overall selection. They had their choice of any quarterback. In our pre-draft video, we talked a lot about Malik Willis from Liberty and just the upside he brings. We compared Kenny Pickett to a little bit of a Kirk Cousins-esque. That might be his comp in the NFL. We thought the ceiling was a little higher with Malik Willis, but as you all saw, Malik Willis fell to the third round, which was shocking to me. NFL GMs and coaches must have saw something that the outside world didn't. And I think it, all leads back to accuracy, right? Had accuracy troubles at Liberty. If you want to be a great quarterback in the NFL, you have to be accurate. Even for how athletic Lamar Jackson is, people still get on him all the time because of his accuracy. You have to be able to throw the football no matter how athletic you are. So I think GMs and coaches saw that. The risk was too high to take him in round one or round two, which was extremely surprising to me, but falls in round three, the Tennessee Titans, and the Steelers select their guy, Kenny Pickett, the only quarterback to go off the board in the first round. I've had a couple days to process this. I am from Pittsburgh. I did watch Kenny Pickett play at Pitt. He's a terrific player, seems like a terrific kid, and it seems like a terrific fit with the Steelers. My only concern is that you kind of already have that guy in Mitch Trubisky. Now, I think Kenny Pickett has a much higher ceiling than Mitch Trubisky. You kind of know what Mitch is at this point. Play action, bootleg, throw in the run, provide some athleticism. I think Kenny is the most, pro-ready quarterback in this draft class. We compared him to Mac Jones in our last interview. Mac Jones had a pretty good year last year. You have to surround Kenny with the right pieces. Thankfully, the offensive liners are improved through free agency for the Steelers, so I can see Kenny having a successful year, right? They're not going to ask him to make all the plays or win games or carry the team on his back. He just needs to manage the game, limit the turnovers, run the football with Najee, make a couple throws a game, rely on your defense, and win ugly. And as we've said in prior videos, the Steelers have won Super Bowls winning ugly before, mainly in 2005 and 2008. They did not get great quarterback play from Ben Roethlisberger during those years. That was still early in Ben's career. He was not the Ben that was throwing 6 touchdowns and 500 yards, a couple times a season. That was a different Ben. They relied on their defense. They ran the ball, got the ball into the playmaker's hands. So I wish Kenny nothing but the best. I'm still not sold on the pick. I hope I'm wrong, but still, what a great story. I think he could come in and realistically beat out Mitch Trubisky for the week one starter. If not, he probably sits a couple weeks, and then once Mitch plays bad, the fans are going to be calling on Kenny. He's going to get a lot of support. So good luck to Kenny Pickett. I hope it works out. But the Steelers' second-round pick, which I loved, was George Pickens. In our pre-draft video, we talked about Pickens as a possible target in round two, along with John Mechie from Alabama. But George Pickens, right, I'm surprised he fell that far. Leading up, there was talks that teams were going to trade up and get him. The wide receivers were going to come off the board early in the second round. Somehow falls to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second round. Incredible talent. Apparently had some off-the-field issues that had him drop that far. I've read some things the past couple days that he's actually a great kid and the off-the-field issues were actually overblown. Had some injury concerns at Georgia, but 6'3", freakish athlete, will go up and get the ball, will high point it. I don't know, if you're from Pittsburgh, you saw him beating up a Vanderbilt cornerback in college as well, slamming him into the wall. But this guy has some grit. Steelers are really good at finding receivers in the second, third, and fourth round. Hopefully this is another one of them. Can provide either Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky with a big target. Has some speed, some versatility, can play inside and out. So I really like the George Pickens pick. That is one we called, so I'm glad he is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Third round, they go DeMarvin Leal, defensive end out of Texas A&M. This is an interesting pick. After last year's draft, if you would have searched 2022 NFL draft, DeMarvin Leal would have probably been a first-round pick. So you know how they do those, next year's top 30 draft picks. DeMarvin Leal was right up there. So I guess he had to have a bad season this past year to drop him to the third round. A little undersized, I still think, for that defensive end position in that 3-4 scheme for the Steelers. So he's going to have to put on some weight. But apparently the Steelers defensive line coach visited his pro day and loved his versatility, absolutely fell in love with the guy. So they selected Marvin Leal with their third-round pick. Again, I think a really good pick. I think he was projected to go somewhere between 50 and 60, and the Steelers snapped him in the third round, I think somewhere around pick 100. So really good value there. I think he'll be a rotational piece, just like Loudermilk was a little bit last year. So, they're adding depth to that D-line. They need it. They still know what's happening with Stephon Tuitt. So I think another really, really solid pick. Fourth round, they get Calvin Austin, the little speedster wide receiver out of Memphis. Great story that I read a couple days ago where the Ravens were actually drafting after the Steelers. And when the Steelers selected Calvin Austin, someone in the rooms yelled, "You have to be kidding me." So obviously the Ravens were eyeing him up as well. This is another great value pick. He was projected to go in the second or third round, I believe. Falls to the Steelers in the fourth round. With the Steelers' track record of drafting receivers, you have to feel really good about this pick. I turned on the tape of Calvin Austin from his last year in Memphis, and I was extremely impressed with him. So quick, can get in and out of routes, ran a lot of jet sweeps and that type of stuff at Memphis as well. Will fit perfect in the Matt Canada offense. He'll take over day one for Ray McCloud, and honestly, if he's any way decent, he's got to be better than Ray. No offense to Ray. That guy just wasn't deserving of 10 targets a game or whatever he was getting at some points last year. So extremely excited for Calvin Austin. Sauce Gardner, the corner for Cincinnati, actually said that Calvin Austin was his hardest cover in college. This is the guy that never allowed more than 12 yards, a 12-yard reception, and never allowed a touchdown. So that's pretty high praise for Calvin Austin. He'll be on the punt return, the kick return, and that slot wide receiver role starting next year. No pick in the fifth round. Sixth round, the Steelers go Connor Hayward, brother of Cam Hayward. We all should have saw this one coming. If you're a Pitt fan, you saw what he did to you in the Peach Bowl. Guy is a freak for his size. Really good H-back, really good fullback. Will obviously make a contribution on special teams as well. So Steelers love their family reunions, right? The Watt brothers, the Edmond brothers, and now the Haywards. So it will be interesting to see if Watt or Connor gets the fullback spot. That's going to piss off one of the brothers. But, oh well, I think that's a good pick. Family ties. Mel Kiper said he expected him to go in the fourth round, Connor Hayward. So another great value pick for the Steelers. They just know how to find them, and they stay patient, and they select their guys. So good pick there as well. Mark Robinson, linebacker out of Ole Miss. I don't think they know where he's going to play yet, inside or outside linebacker. Converted running back from Ole Miss. Couldn't tell you anything about the guy. Seventh round pick. They need some depth at middle linebacker, so hopefully that's the spot for him. Apparently has a high ceiling because only played linebacker for 1 year. As I said, a converted running back. So we will see with Mark Robinson out of Ole Miss. And then Chris Oladukin out of South Dakota State was the Steelers' last selection. The Steelers said prior to the draft they wanted 4 quarterbacks going into camp. Apparently, they wouldn't have got this guy as an undrafted free agent. Apparently, the Steelers don't offer guarantee for those players, and other teams do, so he would have never went to the Steelers. So that's why they selected him with their 7th round pick. Don't know much about him. Looked like he was a pretty mobile quarterback, pretty athletic. So I don't think we're going to be hearing much about Chris, but like I said, the Steelers wanted to go into camp with 4 quarterbacks. So all in all, I thought the Steelers had a fantastic draft. Pickens, Calvin Austin, a wide receiver. They needed some weapons, right? You lose Juju, you lose McLeod. I think they answered the bell in terms of giving Trubisky or Kenny some weapons. I think Pickens, a day one start on the outside, and like I said, I think Calvin Austin on the inside will be great. DeMarvin Leal, you love his versatility. I think he's going to need a year to gain some weight and get kind of settled in at the NFL level, but will be a good rotation piece. I love what the Steelers did, other than that first round pick, right? I like Kenny Pickett a lot. The more I think about it, the more I'm coming around to it, but this is a guy in our pre-draft interview we said stay away from. I'm getting Kirk Cousins comps. I don't think it's a high ceiling. I think next year QB class is better, but hey, the Steelers got their guy. They waited patiently at 20. Only quarterback selected in the first round. And who knows, the Steelers have never had a losing season, so the chances of one of those top guys, next year being on the board when they select is slim to none. So they would have had to trade up. So, hey, if Kenny Pickett's your guy, let's ride with him. I don't know if the ceiling's as high as I would like it, but it makes me feel better that they didn't draft Malik Willis in round 1, knowing that he slipped to round 3. So there had to be some red flags there, and I think it was his accuracy. So great job by the Steelers. The draft grade, I would give them a B+. I think rounds 2 through 7 were fantastic. We will see, I guess, in the end, the most important pick, their first round pick. That's the only reason I'm giving it a B+. I'm not sold yet, but I will be cheering Kenny Pickett on this year. I bleed black and gold. I love that Kenny Pickett is a Steeler. It's a great fit. We'll just see how he performs on the field. But great job, Steelers. Can't wait for the 2022 season. Thanks, everyone.